Now, I fully intended to ignore the knee-bending wet farts we call football players after their recent penalty shootout win, but the country's race-hustling minorities have decided to attack white English football fans, so here we are again. Now, obviously, this all stems back to a few years ago when black players missed a penalty and all criticism of it became racism. The media naturally jumped on this for a few days at the time before they admitted that most of the abuse came from India or some shithole like that. Either way, it wasn't English fans who did it for the most part, and certainly not in England. But fast forward to now, and race-hustling scumbags couldn't wait to turn England winning into a negative, could they? Wankers! Here, for example, is the first one I see, which has the names of all immigrant heritage players crossed out, and this bullshit caption with it. England haven't been convincing so far. Well, that's correct. But without players born outside the UK, or with at least one parent or grandparent born abroad, we wouldn't still be here, and today we'd be down to just 3 players.
You went full retard, man.
Yeah, the logic used to come to this conclusion still baffles me, as the manager would have just picked 8 other white players if diversity wasn't our strength. And this has actually been called out by people from all races, because I guess even they can see this is about a retarded take as you could possibly give. But naturally, a bunch of lefty tosspots jumped on this shit like a bitch in heat and tried to make out that England wouldn't win shit without black players.
So let's not take the piss here.
Bukayo Saka's parents arrived in the UK from Nigeria as economic migrants. If they hadn't, England would have been on their way home without even the need for extra time tonight. Roll that up in your cigar and smoke it for Raj.
You fucking demented.
Yeah, the level of stupidity in that is top notch, but he, like many others, are clearly ignoring the lack of diversity seen in the 1996 World Cup winning England team. You know, the team that remains until now the only team ever to win anything for this country. But it didn't stop there, did it? Because we also had race baiters sharing this picture around with demented captions like Rio Ferdinand gave us here. Where are the racists now? Probably still celebrating. No, I doubt any die-hard racists are watching the Euros, as they would likely call it, the European Cup of African immigrants. But Rio Ferdinand asking where the racists are is funny and ironic, because he knows a bit about racism himself. Oh yeah, this Ponce was fined in 2012 for liking a tweet calling another black player, Ashley Cole, a chalk ice. Possibly at around the same time he was cheating on his wife, since he's been accused of doing that 10 times last I checked. So really this Ponce should pipe down, or maybe write another book to milk her death like he did with his last one. Oh, and Diane Abbott even jumped on the same bandwagon lying about Reform's migration stance with this, despite Reform wanting net zero migration, not zero migration, you tit. But her mixing the two up will shock few people though, because we know Diane Abbopotamus is not good with numbers, is she? In fact, she's fucking diabolical. But you know what's really funny about these idiots doing this is that this year I wasn't actively against the England team, as people have told me they're not kneeling like cucks to BLM these days. But after seeing these idiots play the race card here, I'm close to hoping they do lose, so we can flip it on them and blame diversity. Of course, what these idiots don't realise is by doing this, they're actually making it a them versus us. They're trying to say that when they want to be, these players are not English, but immigrants to further their ideas. Of course, that's what racists would say, so really, who is the real racist here?
Pandemic.
Where